our Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. And let's get on over there now. If you guys have a question that you'd like to hear your own voice on our show, you can call this hotline number anytime 24/7, 951-268-4259. So, Jonathan, what's on our hotline today?
Hey guys, it's me, Izzy. I have a very simple question regarding the new Fantastic Four movie and the cast. When do you think the announcement's going to be made? Will it be New York Comic Con? Will it be somewhere else? Or will they just drop it? Thanks for everything and take care.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And of course, look, D23 just happened. A lot of people believed that this was going to be the moment. I mean, we believed it too. This was going to be the moment that they were going to announce officially the cast of Fantastic Four. We've heard a lot of the pieces of the cast have already been brought together. And then D23 came and went and they didn't announce the cast. Now, I mentioned on the show the other day, there's probably a really good reason for that. And it's probably, I'm guessing, nobody's told me this, I'm simply guessing, but it seems to me that because it's such a no-brainer that they should have announced the cast at D23, that there was probably a good reason they didn't. And that's probably that one of the actors, maybe two of the actors, haven't quite signed the final contract yet, and Disney doesn't want to get caught with their pants down around their knees. If they announce this person as being one of the cast members of Fantastic Four, then in a month they got to walk it back and say, oops, sorry, our bad. Now it's going to be somebody else. So that's my guess as to why they didn't announce it. But it does raise the question, if not at D23, when? Now, we've got New York City Comic Con coming up. When is that held? November, December, October? I can't even remember, but I know New York City. If one of you guys, Taylor, can look that up when New York City Comic Con is coming up, but it's coming up. So there is October. That when it's October. So it's actually coming up sooner than I thought. So you could target that. I know DC is making some big plans to make some announcements and everything at New York City Comic Con, which has been getting bigger every year. That could work. I have a feeling, though, it's just going to come out in a press release. And I'll tell you why. Because with the way things are today, with the major outlets having such well-connected sources and all this kind of stuff, I think Marvel knows that every single day that passes doubles the chances that the cast just gets that one of these outlets is just going to break the story and say, we officially now know, we have confirmed with 5 different sources, we've got it, here it is. And I think Marvel would love to capture that thunder instead of let somebody else steal that thunder. And I don't know that they can make it to New York City Comic Con without one of these places finally getting the final official confirmation. Like I still believe Jodie Comer is going to be Sue Storm. I cannot prove that. I cannot verify that. I cannot confirm it, but I still believe that's going to be Sue Storm. But I don't really have a good handle on Reed unless it's the guy from You. I don't really have a good read on Ben or Johnny or whatever. So I think they're pushing it. So my guess is it's going to come out in a press release. I think they would have liked to have done a D23, but I think it's going to come out in a press release unless, of course, they can somehow make it to New York City Comic Con. Anyway, Rob, the Fantastic Four didn't get announced. When are we going to get that announcement, do you think?
Well, I think you're probably right that it's going to come out in a press release. Look, they just hired Matt Shakman as the director, and for what we understand and what we've heard, a director's usually intimately involved with casting, and they just brought him on board. So John, I was under the impression that Marvel probably already had their Fantastic Four cast locked in, but apparently they don't, because if they did, like you said, they probably would announce it because for fear it would get leaked some other way. But with Matt Shakman being hired, maybe they're just not done casting yet. Maybe they're still looking into who's going to, I don't know if they're doing chemistry reads with people, like putting actors together to see how it all works or not, because that way things can leak too. Well, I went in for a read for, Marvel, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but I think you're right. I think it's probably going to happen in a press release somehow, because they've announced the director. We know, see, this movie, John, this has been percolating for a long time.
Well, they announced it over 2 years ago.
Over 2 years ago.
I mean, it just still feels like yesterday that Disney Investors Day call happened, and that was a great event. That was a fabulous event.
Really good.
But it was over 2 years ago. And see, I don't believe for a second they don't know who their lineup is going to be. I think they know who it's going to be. My guess is they probably got a couple of them completely locked down, but sometimes negotiations can drag on.
Yeah, it could be there might be a scheduling issue that they have to wait 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months and then they can announce it. Because I'm sure once it's announced, they want to hit the ground running. They don't want to announce it and then we're going to go into production sometime in 2023.
Well, I think they probably are going. What's that?
This thing is listed at the end or 2024, right?
Yeah, I think
still have a long way to go. I think they're just not ready.
It's not that long of a way to go. Work on these types of this size of movie.
It's 2 years.
People think that the movie begins being made once the actors are on set and they start shooting. It doesn't. The work on these movies start half a year, longer than that beforehand. And for a lot of the work that's getting done before they even start rolling the cameras, you got to know who the actors are and you got to have these things. So they will be shooting by 2023. I mean, in 2023, they'll be shooting this movie, but there's a lot of work that already has to start on this thing. And so they don't have a lot of time, I don't think, to get. That's why when Ben Affleck was announced, we go back to this a lot, but it's a really good point because it's not unusual. When Ben Affleck was announced as Batman, we found out later, when Ben was talking about it, he had actually signed the deal 8 months before the announcement was made. And they had already started modeling a lot of things and the designing of all these things. So
I had a question. What's the longest you think Marvel, out of nowhere, pushed back a movie? They usually seem to be on their slate pretty good, right? When they announce their slate and have dates.
Well, I mean, pandemic notwithstanding. Yeah, they usually are pretty tight about keeping their dates.
But who knows?
Well, it was Marvel's was supposed to come out this year in Wakanda Forever's position originally, and then it got pushed back into 2023.
Well, pandemic messed a lot of things up, right? So notwithstanding pandemic, even when DC and Marvel ended up having movies scheduled to come out the same days, it's happened twice. Marvel never moved. So, there have been some bumps here and there, but again, if you take the pandemic out of it, it didn't happen very often.
No.
Not often.
Except with the Inhumans.
Oh, God. Let's not talk about
I'm just kidding.
My last thing is I wouldn't wait for a big event. I think this is something they would probably just drop on the Thursday.
Yeah. No, I think
just
you're right.
Just a regular Thursday.
I think you're right. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about that? When do you think we will hear a Fantastic Four announcement? Do you think they'll roll the dice and try to make it to the next big event like a New York City Comic-Con or maybe another special? They'll schedule a special day at the El Capitan Theater like they did for the announcement of Phase 3. Do you think they'll just put it out in a press release? Maybe one of these outlets will get out ahead of it and be able to break the story themselves. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Hey guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. And now for the plot twist. I'm just kidding, there isn't one. Seriously, Mint Mobile just has premium wireless service from $15 a month. There's no trapping you into a 2-year contract or opening the bill to find these crazy fees. There's no luring you in with free subscriptions to streaming services that you'll forget to cancel and be charged full price for. I used to dread opening my phone bill every month because every time I was opening it, it was like playing roulette. I never knew what the actual price was going to be, and it always seemed to get higher. But not with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And if you're worried about the complication of switching things over, don't. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, get premium wireless from just $15 a month and no unexpected plot twists at mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Seriously, you'll make your wallet very happy at mintmobile.com/Campea.